Hello sir, I am Gwen Ulsa, a Bachelor of Science in Criminology, Section 1A. So, history. What is history? History is a written record of the past, or history is the study of the past, specifically the people, societies, events, and problems of the past, as well as our attempts to understand them. History is also a pursuit common to human societies. There are two sources of history, the primary and secondary source. Primary source are people who witnessed the event or they have been part of the incident. Example of primary source are diaries, letters, fossils, artifacts, and testimony of a living witness. Next is the secondary source. Secondary source are those who did not participate in the event. Examples are magazines and newspapers. Next topic, theories of Earth. The number one is the biblical theories, wherein Jesus made everything you see. The second one is the scientific theories. Scientific theories are the uniformitarian theory, theory of national catastrophism, and the Big Bang theory. And the last theories are the myths and legends, like example the story of Maganda and Malakas. And next topic is Philippine Geography. Philippines is made up of 7,107 islands and islets, which is with an area of 300,000 square meters. Philippines has three major islands, which is the Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And also, Philippines has 16 regions. Luzon has three major mountain ranges, which are Caraballo, Cordillera, and Sierra Madre ranges. In Mindanao, mountain ranges includes Diwata Range, Tagaapo Ranges, Kalatungan, Kitanglan Range, and the Daguma Range. Philippines has over 50 volcanoes, with the most active ones are the Mount Pinatubo, Taal, Mayon, and Canlaon. And Philippines also has one of the World's Heritage, which is the Tubata Reef, declared by UNESCO. The Philippines also has 5 geological monuments. Number 1 is the Chocolate Hills. Number 2 is Taal Volcano. Number 3 is Montalban Cage in Rizal. Number 4 is Sand Dunes in Ilocos Norte. And number 5 is the 100 Islands of Pangasinan. So, next topic is about the Filipino people. Filipinos is a harmonious mixture of diversity and homogeneity, and a blend of different races since the Philippines is the crossroad of Pacific. Filipino peoples are also the descendants of Indonesians, Malays, Negritos, Chinese, Arabs, and many more. So what are the character traits of Filipinos? Filipino peoples are Taglish speaking peoples. They have close family ties. They have a high respect to their elders, and they are also fatalism, hospitable, and they also have a crab mentality, and they have an intense love for education, and lastly, they have a palakasan system, wherein as long as you're close to the people, even though you are not worthy of the position you're running for, as long as they know you, they will vote for you because you know each other. And next topic, pre-colonial Philippines. Our ancestors' cultural evolution. Long ago, the Philippines was divided into barangays, wherein per barangay, it consists of 30 to 100 families, and the people live through picking, fishing, and hunting. The first group of inhabitants lived in Tabon Cave in Palawan, and when their loved ones dies, they keep them in burial jars. Also, Butuan was their first school, and slavery at pre-colonial era was practiced and classified into two, which are aliping sa gigilid and aliping namamahay. And lastly, they weren't very understanding peoples at that time. Barangays often have conflict with each other, or people have conflicts with each other. And going back to the barangay, a barangay was led by a chieftain whose power is executive, judicial, and legislative. Lublubon are the legendary lawmaker, and Umalahokans are the barangay criers. Early Filipinos are also pagans of early Filipinos practiced traditional rituals, and barter is their economic system, which was practiced between the Chinese and Filipino people. So, what are their social classifications in the pre-colonial era. The highest is the Datu or Raha, who is the leader of the barangay, and the second classification are the Maharlikas and Timawas. The Maharlikas were the martial class of freedom. Like the Timawa, they were the vassals of the Datu and were exempted from tax and tributes. But the Maharlikas and the Timawas are required to provide military service to their barangay. And the last social classifications were the Alipians, which were used as slaves by the higher levels of social classifications. And next are their weights and measurements. In weights, the first one they used was the Kalaro. Kalaro was the king of balance and scale. Next is Kaban. Kaban is equal to 25 gantas, and one salup is equal to 1 ganta. And Kagitna is 1/2 ganta, and ganta is equal to 1 chupa. Those are their weight measurements in the pre-colonial times. Next is how they measure objects. The first method was the dippa. Dippa was the length of an outstretched arm. Next is the tumuro or dangan. It is the measurement of the pointer finger and the thumb finger. Sadamak is the measurement, which was the measurement of the 5 fingers, and Sandali was the measurement of the 4 fingers. And lastly, and for our last topic, the early Filipinos knows mathematics. 1 million to them was Bahala, and 100,000 was Yuta, million was Angao, and 10 million is Kati. And they also have a calendar which consists of 30 months, and the calendar was called Tumuno. And that's all. Thank you for listening.